Hey, this is Greg McAfee, and welcome to the Greg McAfee Show. Now let's get started. And welcome back to the Greg McAfee Show, where we discuss steps to a successful entrepreneurship, how to take your business to new heights, and ultimately follow your dreams. Today, we're going to be discussing improving your leadership skills. Everyone I know needs to improve their leadership skills. It's what makes us a better leader, right? So we're going to start off with being disciplined. And every good leader needs to be disciplined. We need to be more disciplined in everything we do, actually. There's a lot of things that I'm extremely disciplined in. I'm disciplined in getting up to nowadays without an alarm clock. I wake up somewhere around 4:30 every single day, and honestly, I have since my Marine Corps days. It's just something I do, and I'm extremely disciplined at that. I still set an alarm, but I shut it off 99% of the time before it goes off. There's other areas that I'm weaker at, and I need more discipline, and probably the biggest one for me would just be food. But as I thought about that today, I can sit around and say I love to eat. But at one time, I loved to smoke cigarettes. At one time, I loved to drink. I don't do those anymore. So we can control just about everything we do. We still need to eat, of course, but we just don't have to eat as much. And it's just good for every leader to be disciplined. And if you require discipline on your team, then you need to be disciplined. For me, I don't know. I teach all my leaders, be the first one in the morning if you can. Set the pace. Be the one that's ready to start the day. Be the first one at the meeting. When you have a meeting, be ready. There's a sense of readiness that I've been teaching at McAfee for years. It's a sense of readiness. When we arrive on a call, be ready. Arrive on time. I've mentioned this before, but the 8 a.m. call is the only time of the day we can guarantee we're going to arrive on time. So let's pick that one and let's be on time. And just to review, if you have to be at an 8 o'clock call and there's no window, it's 8 o'clock. What time do you need to arrive? Well, you need to arrive by at least 5 till 8. And then you need to wait till about 1 minute till and walk up to the door. Because if you arrive at 20 minutes till 8 and you go to the door, you might have just thrown someone's morning off, especially if they're getting kids ready for school. So there's no bonus points or credits for getting too early. Now, if you call the customer and you say, I'm on my way, and they say, just come on in when you get here, that's fine. But just to surprise someone 15 minutes early, you get no bonus points or brownie points. So remember to meet your deadlines. Remember to keep your appointments. And also, if you want to be disciplined, end your meetings on time. That's very important. I always let people know this is going to be a certain amount of time of meeting, and then we end on time. And that's part of being disciplined. If a meeting just goes on and on and on and on, that's lacking discipline in my book. And what do you need to do to be more disciplined? What are you lacking? What are you undisciplined in? Like I said, for me, it's food. I've just got to control how much I eat. I don't really eat bad food. I eat very good food. I just eat too much of it. All right, number 2, be confident. If you're going to be a leader, you need to be confident. If you started a business or you purchased a business, you have some form of confidence. Keep it. Don't lose it. It's needed to run a business. And people like working for confident people. They like someone who's confident. They want to trust you and know that you have confidence in keeping this business going. They want job security. And confidence displays job security to people. They're confident that you know how to keep this going and keep them working and keep jobs coming in. And if you're wrong, admit it. Just admit you're wrong. Confidence does not mean that you're always right, or confidence does not mean that you're always acting like you're right. That's a form of cockiness and actually ignorance, because no one's always right. We make mistakes every day. And if you just admit it and be confident in your decisions, you'll go a long way. That breeds more confidence. And help others be successful. That also helps out with building confidence. Celebrate the wins in your company. Celebrate the wins in your family too. Celebrate wins. I've had a whole podcast on that. And just look the part. Look confident. What does that mean? Well, it just means look confident. You look people in the eye. You say confident things. You're positive. And we're going to talk about it in a minute. You look ahead. That's confidence. If you're a leader, you should be a visionary, and you should be looking ahead, and you should be setting goals. And this is where we're going. Get on the ship. Follow me. We're going to go there together. That's what people like. And number 3, believe it or not, confidence is also learning from others. We're never done learning. We're constantly learning. And you shouldn't feel threatened when someone disagrees with you. Matter of fact, you should really appreciate that and encourage people to disagree with you. Again, you're not always right. I'm not always right. We are not always right. And we should want and encourage people, especially key team members, to disagree with us. And then as long as they have a good explanation why they disagree. We were in a meeting yesterday, and my son Travis is our field manager here. And I said something, we started the 4-day work week, and I said something like, well, when we get extremely busy, that 3rd day off, we're going to have them work. And he disagreed. He said, if we ask for volunteers, by that time, everyone will know that it's needed and people will volunteer. We don't need to make people do anything. And then he apologized, and I said, you don't have to apologize. You're actually right. And I agreed with him. So it's good to be challenged. We're going to talk more about that in a minute. Number 4, think ahead. Like I said, we're visionaries. We're thinking ahead. We're making things happen. And we are being leaders. First of all, being a leader means you're thinking. And I've talked about this several times, but Harvey Firestone, who started Firestone Tire and Rubber Company, and Henry Ford and Thomas Edison, those guys were true thinkers. And I think John Maxwell wrote a book called Think for a Change. And we've got to think. We've got to get time, make time in a day to get away and think. If you visit McAfee Heating and Air here, you will see our idea center. And it's a pretty good size room. It's painted really bright green, lime green and orange and colorful carpet. And it's an idea center, and it's a place for ideas. But also in part of it, we have what we call the little retro area. It's got some older looking retro furniture. And that's a place where we can go in and sit and think and read and think and read. And that's what it's for. It's for thinking. We don't spend enough time thinking. We're on the internet, we're in meetings, we're on jobs, we're putting out fires, but we're not thinking enough. And then when we do think, then we have to spend some time. I wrote about this, and actually had part of our boot camp session was on this. But we can't control yesterday. We can learn from yesterday, but we can't control it. So we need to learn from it. So we don't need to spend a whole lot of time thinking about it. It was yesterday. We learned from it. We move on. Good things and bad. And then we've got today. Today is the day. This is the only day we're promised. We don't know we can't go back to yesterday, and we're not promised tomorrow. So this is the only day we got. So we spend a lot of our time in today, thinking in today, like I said, putting out fires, making things happen, all those types of things. However, part of our thinking should be about tomorrow. It's a vision. It's thinking about tomorrow. Here's where I want to be tomorrow. Here's what I want it to look like. Here's how many people I want on my team tomorrow. Here's how many trucks I want. Here's the atmosphere, the culture in our company I want tomorrow. Maybe you're rebuilding your culture. And tomorrow, this is what I want it to look like. Now, tomorrow can be a year. It could be 6 months, a year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years. But it's okay to think that way. It's okay to think ahead. And part of your time thinking should be about tomorrow. And find a place, be proactive. You should not be satisfied with how things are now. I'll get it right here in a minute. But you should be able to see the bigger picture and think ahead. And common words. These are common words you should hear in a growing business often. And it's these words, what's next? Think about that. What's next? Those are words you should hear in a growing business often. What's next? Because honestly, we're not going back to normal anymore. We're going to what's next. And I'm not talking about the virus situation and mask situation we're in. I'm not talking about that at all. This was said way before this epidemic happened. But I'm talking about what's next in your business. What's next in your life? What do you want this place to look like? Those are things you need to be thinking about. Number 5, inspire. I love this word, inspire. It's your job as a leader to inspire your team and motivate them to achieve better results. It's our job. It's not just your job, it's our job. It's my job to inspire my team. Now, not everything that comes out of my mouth is going to be an inspiration. And if you're here long enough, you will see that. However, I hope I spend a lot of time inspiring people, the things I say. There's certain things you like to hear, and I went out to lunch with a friend. He has several restaurants, a chain of privately owned restaurants. And he said, as we left, he goes, we need to do this more often. I just feel better after meeting with you. So hopefully I inspired him a little bit. Everybody needs inspired. And we need to inspire our team and motivate them to achieve better results. And my definition of motivation is inspiration to action. Inspiration to action. People work their best when they feel that they're fulfilled and fulfilling a vision, and that their hard work is recognized. I inspire people. Thank you for doing this. Thank you for making this happen. Thank you for taking the extra step to do this right. Thank you for pleasing that customer. We just received a note this morning, and we thank the employees who are the team members who were on that job. Thank you. To get a customer to write a note on their own, we had to do something special. Thank you for making that happen. And then give them credit, the credit they deserve. People are just looking for a little stroke. Those people are stroke deprived. They need a little stroke. It will inspire them, again, inspire them to work harder the next time. Number 6, delegate tasks. It might surprise you, but you don't have to do everything yourself, nor should you be. Learn to delegate tasks to your team. Find people who do things better than you. And if you don't think there's someone who can do something better than you, ask the people around you. They will show you who does something better than you. It will leave you with more time to do the task that you do best. There are some things that only you can do. Those are the things you need to be focusing on. It was John Maxwell who said, spend more time on your strengths. Because if you're a 7 here on something, if you're a 7 and you work really hard on it, you might be able to get to an 8 or a 9. But if you're a 3 and you work all year on it, you're only going to get to a 4 or a 5. So work on your strengths. That's where you need to be. Let someone who does your 4, let someone who's at 8 on that, do that. Focus on that. Your company will be stronger, your teams will be stronger, and you will be stronger. You'll be a better leader. We're talking about improving leadership skills. Trust people and let them do it. Trust your team and let them do it. They're on your team for a reason. If no one on your team can do anything, why are they on your team? Someone's not needed. Think about it. All right, last. Deal with conflict. I saved this for last because so many people run away from conflict, hide from conflict. They can't stand conflict. They ignore conflict. They change the subject on conflict. People are going to disagree. Again, if no one disagrees, someone is not needed. If no one on your team disagrees, someone's not needed. You need people in there that's going to disagree and disagree with you, like I said. It's a natural thing to disagree. But is it okay in your company to disagree with you? Avoiding conflict will cause stagnation. If you just avoid conflict all the time, it will cause stagnation in a family, in a company. Stagnation means you're in a rut, and that's a grave with both ends knocked out. Nothing's happening. Of course, you don't want fighting. You don't want fighting among your team members or in your family, but it's healthy disagreements. Healthy disagreements are okay. And if you don't have some, you need some. I just don't want everyone to agree with me. Disagreements cause thinking, like we talked about earlier. When someone says, I'm not sure we should do it, because here's why. It's a thought. They could be right, or they are right, or let me think about it. There's many times in our meeting where I will say, let me table this. I'll get back with us on this. We'll bring it up later, because I need to do a little bit more research on this. And it's okay to table this. So we've got, in order to improve your leadership, these are some things that will help. Be disciplined, be confident, learn from others, think ahead, inspire, delegate tasks, and deal with conflict. All those are good. You do all those, we do all those, we will be much better off in our leadership skills, and people will look at us as a much stronger leader. Sound good? Thanks for listening. Before we wrap this up, if you are watching on YouTube, don't forget to like and subscribe below. You can also support this podcast by rating and reviewing it on iTunes or your preferred listening platform. Keep listening, because it's going to help you grow your business. It's going to help you sleep better at night. And as if anyone follows these leadership skills, they're going to be better leaders. So don't forget, follow us on Instagram and Facebook at the Greg McAfee Show. No spaces, no underscores. And be sure to tune in next week when we talk about it's not a race. Growing a business is not a race. It's a journey. We're going to talk about that next week. Thanks for listening, and as always, carry on and have a great day.